Good morning, all. I'm Dwight Keene. I'm chair of the Kansas Corporation Commission. I'm joined this morning by fellow commissioners Susan Duffy and Commissioner Andrew French. At this time, I will call to order this meeting of the Kansas Corporation Commission on this 24th day of March 2022. Commissioners, before us, the first matters up for our consideration are 14 items on the consent agenda. We've all had an opportunity to take a look at the draft orders in each of these matters. So I would turn to each of you and ask if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and I'll begin with Commissioner Duffy.
Good morning, Chair Keene. I have no questions or comments.
Thank you. Commissioner French.
Good morning. I have no questions. Move approval of the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the consent agenda. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. The next item before us is the one noticed item for our consideration this morning. This is docket number 21-ATMG-333-GIG. This is in the matter of the investigation into Atmos Energy Corporation regarding the February 2021 winter weather events as contemplated by docket number 21-GIMX-303-MIS. Before us this morning is an order on a unanimous settlement agreement on Atmos Energy Corporation's financial plan. And our presenter is General Counsel Brian Fedotin. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Commissioners. On September 14th, Atmos filed its plan to minimize the financial effects of the 2021 winter weather event, stating it has deferred approximately $88 million in gas supply related costs, including carrying costs and other costs related to an anticipated securitization filing. The amount billed to customers was expected to total over $109 million. On February 9th, Atmos Commission staff and CURB filed a joint motion to approve a settlement agreement. Under the settlement agreement, there would be $102,517,847 in qualified extraordinary costs incurred by Atmos would be considered prudently incurred and recoverable. Among some of the other provisions, to minimize the financial impact on Atmos's customers, Atmos agrees to apply for in a separate docket a financing order that would authorize the issuance of securitized utility tariff bonds, and Atmos's carrying cost rate would be reduced to 2%. Also, if Atmos recovers any money as a result from profit disgorgement, civil suit relief, market manipulation findings, etc., those funds will be passed on to the customers. There's evidence that Atmos's gas purchase costs during Winter Storm Uri were consistent with, if not lower than, the prevailing market prices during Uri. On March 4th, the Commission held a hearing on the unanimous settlement agreement. This order finds the financial plan settlement is a unanimous settlement as defined by KAR 82-1-230A. And when approving a unanimous settlement, the Commission must make an independent finding as to whether the settlement is supported by a substantial competent evidence, will establish just and reasonable rates, and is in the public interest. This order finds there's substantial competent evidence in the record to support the financial plan settlement. Testimony from staff, CURB, and Atmos was that the financial plan will establish just and reasonable rates. CURB notes that using short-term debt while it will add costs to the ratepayers, it's spreads the financial impact of URI over a longer period, reducing monthly bill impact. The commission finds the financial plan settlement will result in just and reasonable rates for Atmos and its customers. Atmos staff and CURB all testified that approving the financial settlement is in the public interest. Atmos explained that the settlement agreement will best minimize the financial impact on Atmos's customers by allowing Atmos to issue securitized bonds to cover the extraordinary costs. This order also emphasizes that it was in the public interest for Atmos to incur extraordinary costs during this event. As staff testified, Atmos did a really good job of securing gas supplies during the storm. And this order recognizes while the extraordinary costs associated with Winter Storm Uri will be a hardship for some customers, the settlement agreement eases the burden on ratepayers who would otherwise have to pay these costs in a single year. Winter Storm Uri was a massive unexpected expenditure, and securitization will allow ratepayers to pay the extraordinary charges over an extended period of time to minimize the impact on their personal finances. When the commission issued its emergency order, other states were experiencing life-threatening conditions as people were unable to heat their homes. Kansas largely avoided those outcomes, in large part because utilities like Atmos incurred extraordinary costs to ensure the integrity of their system and ensure continuous service to Kansas. A lesser response could have resulted in catastrophic property damage and potentially loss of life. For all these reasons, the commission finds the financial plan settlement is supported by substantial competent evidence, results in just and reasonable rates, and is in the public interest. Therefore, this order approves the financial plan settlement in its entirety. With that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Brian. That was a good synopsis. Let's turn to my fellow commissioners and see if they have any questions or comments. I'll begin this time with Commissioner French.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian, for the description. I don't have any further comments. I think the order encapsulates our reasoning quite well. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Duffy.
I have no questions or comments, and I move approval of the order.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the order in this matter. Is there any further discussion? I would simply dovetail my comments onto those of Commissioner French. I do think the order does speak for itself. I do take some heart in the fact that, again, it was an effort to try to make the best of a really lousy circumstance and situation. And I think that it's hard to find silver linings in bad clouds. And there isn't anything silver about the linings on this, but at least there is some mitigation here in terms of the carrying charges here, once again, which have been reduced to a more reasonable amount. Any further discussion? Commissioner Duffy, please.
I would also add that we begin the next phase of this company as well as another company where we begin to review the securitization process that will be filed with us. And the legislature did pass that legislation, thankfully, last year after Storm Uri, anticipating that that would be needed for some of the utilities to help mitigate the costs that are passed on to their customers. And so that will be the next phase that we will undergo. And it's my understanding that we'll begin that in late summer, early fall. This is a new process for us. It's been used in other states for, well, I think other states are using this for catastrophes, which I think this is. So I am thankful that we do have this remedy going forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Duffy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. The order is approved. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, the next matter before us is a really important matter, and that is the recognition of the Kansas Corporation Commission Employee of the Quarter. For this, we're going to turn to Gary Davenport, who is the Deputy Director of our Transportation Division. Before I do that, I'm going to say to Greg Askren, good morning.
Commissioner Chair, Commissioner French, Commissioner Duffy, thank you for joining me, or me joining you this morning. And Commissioner Keen, it's good to have you back on board again.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice to have you with us as well, Greg. I'm going to turn to Gary Davenport, our Deputy Director of Transportation, who is the individual who nominated Greg for this award. And Gary, give us the benefit of your thoughts, please.
Oh, thank you, Commissioner Keen, Chairman Keen, and congratulations again on your reappointment. A good recognition for you. And, you know, it's always difficult we have a team of investigators, and they are a team. It's always difficult to separate someone out that has done something to be recognized above the others. And in this one, we really thought, you know, Greg has done a great job. He joined our division back in 2016 after his retirement from the Kansas Highway Patrol. And we were fortunate to get him. We had a position open up in the Concordia area, north central Kansas. Greg has been a great representative of the commission there. And during this, the quarter, Greg took responsibility to be the point man for an investigation of a motor carrier that presented a danger to others on the highways. And this was a carrier that had constant severe violations, and we were trying to catch him. And Greg worked with the Highway Patrol, with the Department of Revenue, with KCC attorneys, with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And we actually had to facilitate search warrants for impounding 5 trucks in 4 different counties spread around the state. So that was Greg did a lot of work, extra work on that. And it took several days of investigation and undercover work just to catch this carrier, because they were trying to hide. We could never catch them operating. And Greg did a great job professionally coordinating the entire operation. And he always, you know, he's one of those individuals that goes beyond his was a safety investigator. He's one that, you know, if we have a anniversary, if we have a funeral, he always tries to coordinate with everybody else to provide some kind of a recognition and some deal to recognize that person and say, hey, we care and we're with you. And just really keeps the team approach going. And so that's really why we put Greg up for the Employee of the Quarter, because we really think he is well deserving of this recognition.
Well, thank you very much, Gary. Let me turn to my fellow commissioners and let's get their thoughts. Let me turn first to Commissioner Duffy.
Thank you. Greg, congratulations. We were lucky that when you retired your service from the patrol, that you continued service for the people of the state of Kansas by coming on with the Kansas Corporation Commission. Your valuable skill set that you brought has just been an asset overall for the commission, individually for investigators, but also I believe for the motor carriers that we regulate. You know them, you deal with them, you have dealt with them your whole life, and you understand them probably better than most. Your abilities to bring that extra skill set from the patrol has really kind of zenithed us so that we can be better effective with our motor carriers and for the particular case that you worked on with the motor carrier that we eventually did find and put out of service. If I remember correctly, I want to thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Commissioner Duffy. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. Commissioner French.
Well, I don't have much to add. I'll be brief, but I appreciate Gary's comment that it is difficult to sometimes single folks out at above others, and I appreciate the difficulty that goes along with that. But I do know in this one case, I mean, we all followed that that drama, and your efforts were very much appreciated, and it's nice to know now behind the scenes how involved you were and how much ownership you took over that. And with that, I mean, I think the recognition is well deserved, and you're obviously an asset to our division, and we look forward to continuing to serve with you. So thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you, Commissioner French. Appreciate that.
I'll just kind of follow along with both of those observations. Let me ask a question before I make a brief comment here. Are you coming to us from Concordia? Is that where you are now, Greg?
I am actually in Wichita right now, investigating Amdale Ready Mix from a fatality accident. So we're right in the middle of investigation down here. So.
I see. Do you live in Concordia?
Yes, I live outside of Concordia, about 12 miles.
Well, very good. I'm kind of biased toward both Cloud and Mitchell counties. That's from where my mother's family hails from. So we appreciate anything you can do to make number 9 safe.
Thank you.
Let me just add to the comments of my two fellow commissioners. The relationship that the Transportation Division and the KCC generally has with the Kansas Highway Patrol is a very significant interagency relationship. We've been so blessed, and none more so than in your case, Greg, to be able to benefit from those who have retired from the patrol and come on board with us, because we're able to use that learning curve that you have, which is rather substantial, your experience, which is really beneficial toward the safety goals that are really the primary endeavor of the Transportation Division. So thank you so much for your service to the state. Thank you in particular for choosing the KCC after the patrol. We're the lucky ones now. And thank you for all that you've done as a lead into this particular recognition. I've been known to go out in the field on occasion. It may be that I can come and visit you one of these times in the not too distant future, now that I have a couple of years to work on. Greg, that's my comments. We want to give you a chance to have your say as well, so please do.
Thanks, Chair Keen, and again, I just appreciate the time that the commissioners take and Deputy Director Davenport to recognize our team. We've got a good team that we're working with, and all of us work good together. We've got, all kinds of ways to stay in contact: phone, text, email. It's pretty tough to hide. So just appreciate you folks taking the time to recognize our team and the efforts we do.
Well, very well. Greg, it is our pleasure. Indeed.
And Chair, I would just add that suitable, it's been framed, but this will be coming his way. It's Employee of the Quarter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize for the hair. The wind's played havoc on me the last couple of days. So
I was going to mention that. We didn't notice that. We're thrilled to have you with us in any event. And congratulations again for the award. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well.
And if you get a chance to come out to Concordia, we'll furnish you coffee.
I'll bet it's going to happen. I'm going to give you even odds that will happen.
Great.
I've been out with Doug. I've been out with Gary previously. I've been out in the field, conservation and transportation, and we'll renew that effort again. I look forward to seeing you there too.
Great. Thank you.
All right. I believe this signals basically the end of the notice and the consent agenda items and the recognition that we had on schedule this morning. We do, however, need to adjourn basically, or to reset, to move into executive session. So the final order of business this morning is an executive session. Accordingly, at this time, I move the commission enter into executive session not to exceed 45 minutes to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel pursuant to KSA 75-4319B1, more specifically, personnel hiring issues. I further move that the following be included in the executive session meeting: our executive director, Len Retz, and our personnel director, Dennis Perrenboom.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
We are moving into executive session. By my reckoning, it is 10:20, 45 minutes. Hence, will be
11:05.
11:05. So we will move into a break room at this time and reconvene at 11:05.
Michelle, we're back. Commissioner or Chair King, you're on mute.
Okay, I can see you. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. Okay, I see everybody now. We have returned from executive session. During that time, nothing was decided. At this time, it is, in fact, it is about 6 after 11. Commissioners, I know of nothing further to come before us unless you have something else. In the absence of something else, I would entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All approved? All in favor?
Aye.
It is approved and we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. Take care.
Take care.